Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
How
So,
you doing?
you said you had things to talk about.
No, yeah, a ton. I was just actually watching.
I want people to see my stark whiteness.
Oh yeah, hold on, let me move back. I had to be like a certain distance from you. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, super. Jeff's up there, y'all. That white dot you see, that's super damn bright. That's Jeff. It's weird you're so white.
I'm sorry, it's
You
quarantine. I
need
haven't gotten out in the
you gotta
sun.
get more sun. Uh, so how's things? What's you got to say? Tell me.
I mean, things. So the one thing I was gonna actually talk about is you have an iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have an Android. So I don't know if you guys have some of the same problems. Whatever's been going on with the whole Android operating system upgrades over the last couple months, that they've been like breaking a lot of old phones.
Really?
And yeah, it's really weird because they're putting out all these good updates, and then something goes wrong with them, and then there's all these users that complain like, what the hell, you just either took away this option or my screen is now flickering on me. And there's, Android has admitted that the updates aren't working right with some of the versions of their phones, but like don't have a fix for them.
I mean, it's got to be hard for them, right? Because like with Apple, they're making iOS, and they do have to worry about like people that are still using older versions, like iPhone 4, whatever. But they also say like this won't work on this version. These are considered outdated, but they know the hardware they're developing for because they made it all. But
See,
for Android,
they do use it on a lot more phones. But I am actually more talking about the Samsung Galaxy lineup. Okay. So not even like branching out to the Pixels or the Nexus or whatever they are, but mainly about the Galaxy and the Note lineups because they're made by the same manufacturers, all the Samsung stuff. And like I have a Note 9, and I guess the Note 9 is basically about to go out of support. Like it's almost been 2 years since I've had the phone, coming up soon. They're really pushing the Note 10. And the other one at the time was the S10, and now they have, instead of going with an S11, they have the S20. I don't know why they decided to like jump up to the next layer. So those are the phones that they're basing everything toward, but they're still putting the updates out for the older versions. But there's some weird things such as for one of my lights stopped blinking when I had notifications. And I was like, that is weird. Like, what is wrong with my phone? Why is this not blinking at me when I have a text message anymore? And I'm going through like the options and making sure that they're all like, set up and everything. And it's all set up fine. It doesn't seem to work. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I get on all these forums and people are like, yeah, everybody's complaining about the last update with like a Note 10, that this is happening to them, that they don't understand. They've complained about it, but it turns out it's, something with the edge lighting that Samsung and Android are really pushing with these phones, and how the new phones don't do the button lighting. So they basically forgot to code it into the new update because they don't even use it on the newer phones. I'm just like, that's weird. So people are getting like really pissed off because, they're not going to fix it. They basically said they're not planning on fixing whatever with it. But I'm not getting the screen issues. A lot of problems with my particular phone in the last update, and their actually screen is just like either a green tint or it's like blinking and flickering and they can't see it. Very common problem that luckily I'm not experiencing, but making the phones almost unusable, and there's no fix for it, and people are getting like really angry and mad.
I bet so.
So one of the things that I noticed is I was trying to take a video, and I actually use my phone for a lot of the real life videos that I'll do because phones have really good cameras on them now, and I'm not doing it enough to justify, really expensive cameras or whatever. Though I do have a better camera now that I use once or twice, but it's just, you have to, purposely take it out. It's bigger, set it up. It's just a different, recording style. And I noticed that I had different options on the screen that I didn't have before the update, and I just was like, whatever, I just won't deal with the new options. Maybe they gave us some new features, but I'm not using special camera tricks when I'm doing this with my phone. I'm using, the very basic, zoom, focus, record, type of deal.
Right.
Bless you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I noticed I couldn't focus. And the icon that I usually had to focus, or when I was focusing, it was coming up as like a different icon. So I'm like, what the hell? I cannot find the focus button on this phone. And it actually has been causing problems because I've been reading to my son at night distantly over like Google Duo,
Uh-huh.
basically FaceTime equivalent. And I was trying to read to him right after I got one of these updates about 2 weeks ago, and it just wouldn't focus on the book. So I had to use the front-facing camera as opposed to the rear-facing camera, which then I can't see if it's like in the picture. So it was causing a problem. But that camera seems to be working fine. I actually didn't really have to focus it, but it was just working fine. So, but that got really annoying. So I finally started to like do all this research on like what is going on, and I'm not finding people having a problem with the focus related to the update. I did find a lot of people with the same problem with my phone over the past year, but not like since an update. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like maybe something happened. And a lot of these people end up getting their phones replaced under warranty because they determined it was hardware errors. And I'm just like, well, that's shitty. Like my phone's not really under warranty, quote unquote, anymore. Right. Just like it not focusing. But one of the options that it gives you, one of the new options, is there's a live focus option. And I don't know if it's supposed to be better at tracking or something, but if I click on the live focus, it zooms the screen in really far, and it only focuses on something like a foot away from the screen or something like that. But it like supposedly really tracks it well, and then it has one of those special features of blurring out the background. So it's meant to be used for like vlogging when you don't want people to see the background behind you. Okay. It like tracks on your face and then blurs everything in the back out. But that's not really what I wanted either. But I did notice that worked, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. Like the focus is clearly functional. It just will not actually do anything when I tell it to focus. So I'm reading all these forums about, clearing the cache and do this, do that. Make sure your lens isn't dirty, take your cover off. So I try all these things for like a week, and I'm getting no progress at all.
Yeah.
I was like basically giving up on this phone and never being able to use the rear camera again, because it's just like, and that's shitty because it's going to be hard to like read books or anything like that. I shit you not, I go to this one site and it was just like basically a guy's vlog of, camera problems, try this. And it goes through all the standard stuff that I've tried. Like a vlog, but it really lays out information that's well known out there and like causing these problems. So I'm just going through it. It gets to the bottom and it says something like, and if all else fails, just hit it really hard.
Did you?
It says, ... No, I'm serious. Just try it. It might work. And I was like, oh, what the fuck do I have to lose? And I smacked the phone against my hand. I shit you not, the focus started working right away. The blinking light came back.
Wow.
Like, no idea what the hell happened, but literally just randomly reading this guy's vlog, and he said it like specifically because it might work. It fucking worked. You just smack it really hard against my hand, and everything just started working again.
That's ridiculous.
And so it leaves me to sit there and go, okay, so clearly there must be some type of hardware defect, right?
I mean,
because hitting it shouldn't do anything else. Like there's no like chips that are like, oh, if I get smacked hard enough, send a reset signal or something like that. Like that, of. Is there?
Yeah, exactly. It's part of the programming. The strongest smack is factory reset.
I mean, the one funny thing I do have to think is phones nowadays probably do have like shock sensors in them in some way, like digital shock sensors to know if they've been dropped or something.
Probably, yeah.
And so I wonder if it's something like that. But I was so baffled because like that there's no way that should have worked. No way it should have worked. And now it's been fine for a week with no issues. And
wow.
Then on accident, and it's still been fine. I just still don't understand for the life of me, how can one version of focus work and the other one not, and now they're both just working fine. Like that's.
I'm curious if it breaks again, if it just takes another good smack.
Another good smack. Now, if it does break again, I'll bust out that new camera I have, and I'm gonna like show it live.
Right?
Like record it and show. Look, it's not working. Smack. Like, there it is. Working just fine. I take it you've never had any experiences like that with your.
No, I mean I'm pretty sold on the iPhone at this point. People can call me a fanboy if they'd like, but it just works, And I've tested Android phones. I have a Note 4 that I had for a long time. My daughter's got something now. I can't think what it is, but it's another Android phone because they were just super cheap. And I actually wanted to get her like they had an iPhone that was super cheap that was on sale, that an older version that I was gonna get. And the reason why I was kind of sold on that is it's got all that built-in tracking and stuff, family share, all that stuff that's built in, where I wouldn't have to install third-party things to make it work.
They don't have that with Apple, like geolocation stuff?
No, you do. That's what I'm saying. If we both have an Apple phone.
Oh, I got you.
So that's one of the reasons I was just gonna make sure she had an Apple phone as well. I mean, she only uses her phone whenever we're like somewhere like Disney or whatever. So it's not like she's constantly.
So you got a while for that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal, especially right now. But I've given her my iPad now because she needed a device for schoolwork, and so I just formatted my iPad and it's hers now, and that's been fine. What the hell is this? I guess it was a buried treasure over here. I'm out looking for iron for our sorting system for some time in the future.
I'm trying to get flowers so I can make a bunch of orange dye. People are probably like, "Why the hell are you just like bone filling the ground all this episode?" There's a reason. I just need to get, orange and red is yellow, right?
Yeah.
Before
you said yellow and red is orange. Is that what you said? Orange is yellow and red. That's what you said.
Red and yellow is orange. That's what I meant to say. That's not what I said, because now
I found a
now
fox.
I'm confused.
But yeah, so now that she's used my iPad all the time, like we do text back and forth and stuff, using that. But yeah, I don't know. Android seems fine and all. I just never, I don't know. I just had an iPhone, and I've always had an iPhone now. And it convinced me, mainly Chad convinced me to get other Apple products. Like I have my laptop is a Mac, even though my desktop is obviously not. So yeah, I've become an Apple fanboy, I guess.
See, I've used the Apple phones before, and I don't know, something about them that I cannot function with them properly. The one button throws me off.
What do you mean?
There's only one physical button on them.
Well, that's not true.
Often, huh?
That's not true.
Physical buttons?
Yeah, there's both the volume buttons, the power button.
The physical buttons that do things to the screen.
What do you want?
So I have like a couple buttons on the bottom of mine. Open up, and technically now they're digital buttons on my new phone.
Yeah, I was about to say Apple doesn't even have the home button anymore. That's gone.
Oh, they don't even have the home button anymore?
No, there's two volume buttons.
Well, I guess button, the one that I had when I was in the board of the fire department, and I had gotten one, and it just had the one home button, but I couldn't figure out always how to get to, because I know where my buttons are to get to my app list, that my apps are up, even if they're the digital buttons on the screen and not actually a physical button. One that goes back, one that opens up this different list. Like I know what those buttons are, and maybe it was just so used to the Android, I couldn't get used to the configuration of hit the home button once for this, double tap it to get to this, but then if you want to get to this other setting menu that I always have, I didn't know how to get there. Like it was just scroll through the screen until I could find the right button for it.
That makes sense.
Threw me off. But a Mac in general, just to use, I don't think I could use one of those for my daily tasks. Just because I'm so used to how a PC works.
I mean, I guess that's why I liked having both.
Oh my god!
Did you find? What'd you find?
I didn't even notice it. A trident.
When?
I just killed a guy who was shooting things, and I went down to the water after him and didn't see anything, but apparently it popped into my inventory.
Nice.
It's almost dead. It's got like probably one hit on it, so we need to I don't know how you repair the tridents.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it's got like a sliver of red on it.
Huh. Now what? How you repair them?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in this.
Maybe try like iron or something. It may take one of those like orb things, even. Who knows?
Or those brains? I got phantom membrane.
No, I think that's only the elytra.
Well, let's look up real quick. Minecraft. Repair a trident. How do you repair tridents? Same as other weapons. It can be repaired by combining damaged tridents with it. By crafting mending enchantment, combining damaged tridents with crafting table. Is there a material like iron to repair it? Nope, just the way it's listed in the wiki quoted above. So
Oh,
only
that kind
other
of sucks.
Wait, what? I
So
hope that's
you
not
got to need
true.
to put mending on it, basically.
But oh yeah, I would have to do mending and then go stand in like the farm or something,
Yeah,
huh?
that's not so bad.
No, I'll have to go borrow a mending book from
I mean,
the
you could pay
bookstore.
her if you want, or just steal it. I've just been stealing stuff lately.
We're honorable people, dude.
Okay. I mean,
We'll return it when asked.
right, exactly. I'm just borrowing. I'm having the hardest time finding a cave, though.
I mean, because we've explored them all, or
No, like I'm just digging down and hitting bedrock, digging down and hitting bedrock. Just getting unlucky here. And I'm not finding like any. I keep every like surface opening I find just doesn't go anywhere. This one went down into a cave and then it was all underwater caves. And it seemed like, because I kept hitting other pockets and they were also underwater, it almost seemed like all caves in that area were underwater caves or something. Like once it's like an underwater cave system. I don't know.
and it's probably got the best treasure in it.
Might. All I want's iron, anyways. I finally have found a cave, it seems.
I'm trying to think if there was anywhere in town that had like a lot of excess iron.
Might be. I mean, I guess we could. I'm sure Fedrin has tons, right?
So I'm going to her bookstore right now, so I'll take a look and see if there's anything that I blatantly see.
Breon offered to help. He'll probably take it back like he did the beacon, but
I forgot about that. He got so mad.
He did offer to help with the sorting system. So he said he had some number of stacks of iron already that we could use. I did make a stack of hoppers because I don't want to need a lot of hoppers. So I've already done that. I guess I need to make a shield.
What other stuff goes on a trident?
You're gonna want loyalty.
Loyalty 3.
And
Riptide and Impaling and Channeling are the other ones I see.
Channeling's the one that lets you kind of like fly in the water with it.
Can you put them all on there?
I don't know. There's probably ones that don't mix, just like with anything.
Channeling, Loyalty, Impaling.
Loyalty makes it come back, so you have to go pick it up. So that's like the one you have to have.
And then there's Riptide. Well, take one of all. I mean, borrow one of all. This is just her books and stuff.
Right. Like I don't know where I don't know where she
Hold on.
keeps all her stuff.
There's
but-
diamond pants. There's really insane diamond pants in this one for an iron block, but nobody paid for it. Nobody. This one says it's OP pants again, and nobody paid for them either.
I don't think anyone bought any of those things.
I saw a bunch of emerald blocks down here. There's 1, 3 here. I can take her payments here. We're just borrowing.
Just
I don't need gold and emerald. Emerald. And then people are replacing this stuff with emerald blocks. Gold block. Oh, here we go. We got 27 blocks so far
of iron.
of iron.
All right. Well, just keep a tally so we know what we borrowed.
Jump cuts and editing here. We have borrowed 1 block of iron.
Yeah. Have you watched that Tiger King show that everyone's talking about?
No, I still haven't watched it. I don't think I can.
I finished it finally. It took me 3 weeks to get there, but I finally
Does it
finished
get better?
I left the whole show kind of angry, honestly, if you want my true opinion of it all. Not because of the production or anything like that. It just seems, I don't know. It seems well, it's a documentary, so everything's obviously edited for the most dramatic effects. But also, like, I feel like it's just there's a bunch of injustice that happens in the whole show, and like it doesn't ever leave you with any like. There's no good feeling in the end. You're just I don't know. I feel like the guy that the whole show's about got taken advantage of. He ends up in prison.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was in prison. I mean, even Trump said something about it was going to take a look.
What an idiot. Fucking moron. Complete moron. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The things he was accused of, there wasn't really much evidence for it. There's this woman that abuses the legal system to get him in trouble, take a bunch of his money, stuff like that. Oh my god. So I was fighting a zombie. Apparently some zombies spawned in the darkness while I was fighting the zombie. And it's bad. It's real bad.
How bad is it?
Like 15 zombies all of a sudden? It's a lot of zombies. I'm like legit scared.
Are they just summoning their friends?
Yeah. I just fought a whole bunch. I survived. I was worried. There's more now.
Will you survive? Will he survive this wave of zombies? Tune in next week.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many more. Oh my gosh, there's just so many.
Okay, so I got mending on it. Let me go get this thing mended up before I waste any more books on it. I mean, is there a spawner? Is it just a
I don't think so. No, I think it's just the whole zombie horde mess that happens whenever you fight a zombie and there's darkness around. There's skeletons and creepers over here. It's just a room full of things. Oh my gosh.
How far away are you from the from our base?
Oh my gosh. Pretty far. Not too far. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna die.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. There's a skeleton that came along and started pelting me while I was fighting all these zombies.
Is it the fortress farm? Which farm is it?
You want the one that's in the nether. It's directly opposite of our line.
Okay, so it's called the fortress farm.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't remember what it was called, and I was like, fortress farm.
This is pure absurd.
Pure absurd.
It is. There's just so many zombies. If this was like a UHC, it'd be over. That was a creeper.
Did you ever finish watching Don't Fuck with the Cats?
So that's what I was watching literally seconds ago before we started recording. And I've made it to episode 3.
Okay, so the final episode.
I guess. And I don't know. I don't think I like the woman. And I think that's why I had a hard time watching it. The whole thing still seems like it's fake. Like it's a put on.
The woman completely seems as if she loves the attention.
Absolutely. 100%. Like, whenever it seemed like in episode 2, it gets to the point where, all right, this is a real deal. No one's ever listened to any of them. And she's very upset that no one's giving her any attention during all of this, except for her Facebook group. So she's she's all mad because this is finally coming about. Like this is a thing. They know that this is a thing. But meanwhile, the Montreal police still have ignored her completely. And so she gets emo and then checks out. Like, it's actually at the point where, like, shit's actually finally starting to happen. They've come to realize that this is a real deal. But no one still talked to them, and so she's mad. So she just stops using Facebook because she's pissed off that no one talked to her about it.
How far into this are you, this last episode? Because it's the last
I haven't
episode,
started.
It's only like a little over an hour.
Well, yeah, each episode's an hour long, but I haven't watched any of the third episode. Like, I just finished episode 2. And episode 3 was starting, and I looked at my phone to see if you were in Discord already, and you were. And so I've not left combat since I started complaining.
I just cannot wait until you get done with it because there's just so much to discuss.
I mean, oh my gosh. It's just so much. It's just so much all the time. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna end up dying in this. Oh my gosh, I fell in a hole. It's over. No. Okay, I got out of the hole. Oh my gosh. Need like potions or something. Like fighting a boss. I mean, I feel like anything there's discuss. I mean, I'm two episodes in. It's really anticlimactic to some degree because they just work out who this guy is like within the first episode, and then they were right. You know, it was like they had one false positive in terms of like who is this person that's killing these cats, and then after that they were like, I think it's this person, and they were like, well, yeah, that's who it was.
Well, God, I don't want to give it away, but
okay, well, yeah, don't ruin anything. But I mean, I guess I'm talking, 2 episodes in. This is how I know and feel based on the information that's been given me so far. And I mean, if you're about to tell me it wasn't him, then I find that hard to believe because all the video camera evidence of him going in and out of his apartment with this guy he met on Craigslist and the post looking for the dog on Craigslist, all this. I mean, I would be frustrated too if I was her, if like I had all this information, and it was pretty clear who was doing these things, and like, you know what's what, and then like you're trying to tell people and no one's listening. I guess I'd be upset about that too. But yeah, I don't know. You obviously know more because you finished it.
Right. I finished it, and since we've started to talk about it, and I told you that after the end I'm so waiting to hear what you say just because the way that they close it all up. And another friend of mine, I convinced her to watch it since they've been in quarantine, and she's now watched it. And since like in between that starting, I did some research online, and this is what drives me insane is like apparently there's so much random.
Oh my god.
Are you dying again?
I'm really dying this time. Creeper, skeleton shot a creeper into me and took me down to 1 heart. Okay, sorry. Your friend has watched it now.
Well, and while she was watching it, I was like, okay, I need to go like do some research and find out these like the loose ends that I was talking about and how they just end this thing with like when I thought it was about to start getting good. Like I thought there was going to be like the big twist and reveal or whatever because I didn't realize it was only 3 episodes. Like I said when we watched it, it was over. And literally, and like one Reddit post is like, here's all the questions that people have, the things the documentary left out, and you're like, oh, well, what the fuck? They like just left this stuff out of it, but there's a solution that's not a solution, but there's an answer that would have been easy to state, but it was really just done for like effect to leave you kind of wondering, even though they just purposely left it out of the documentary because they wanted to leave it with like certain questions that they throw in there at the very end when you're about to think it's starting to get good and it's just over.
I wonder if whenever they were making it, they thought it was going to be more episodes than it was.
I mean, I guess maybe because, yeah, who knows how long they ever expect these docu-series. I don't know what they call them.
Docudramas? No, docudramas never got actors. It's not the real thing.
I know that Netflix has been doing a lot of mini documentaries or whatever.
Right. I mean, I guess that's what this and Tiger King are supposed to be considered, as a mini documentary.
10 is a decent number, though.
It was, I think it was 7 episodes and they made an 8th, but the 8th isn't even a real episode. It's like they hired
the making of
well, not really. It's all the people that were featured in this. Now that it's been out and you've had a chance to watch it, how do you feel?
It's like, how do we squeeze more money out of this Netflix popularity? You all,
I mean, yeah, I guess they don't make money on episodes, right? But yeah, how can we give you even more content now that we've technically done it all? I mean, I'm highly upset by the Tiger King one. Like, not by the content of the show or anything, but like, I really feel like this man shouldn't be in prison. And a lot of people will probably disagree with me. He was, God, I can't. You'll watch it eventually, probably. So,
I guess the hot nanny's real.
Yeah, the hot nanny's real.
Yeah, there was a lot of speculation. Like, as she was so hot that they thought she was like an actress plant or something like that. But I guess they've since found her since the documentary got popular and like legitimized her story. That she's real.
That guy that hired the hot nanny is just a piece of shit all around. Like, honestly, it seems like a lot of people threw the Tiger King guy under the bus. Whenever everyone was involved in things, maybe you're legal, maybe not. But this one guy just basically ends up taking the fall for everybody is what it feels like to me. Is it raining? How's that sound?
I don't know. I'm in the nether. I have no idea.
I'm getting my ass. I've still not left combat.
I don't even know where you're at, so I can't even come out.
Oh my gosh! I think I'm finally out of combat for a second. It's absurd. This cave. This would be the worst UHC cave ever. In fact, I would have been dead 10 times over because of the amount of healing I've done here. Anyways, we probably say this episode here anyway. So stay tuned for the next episode where the murder is revealed.
Tiger King.
Yeah.
Rah.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.